Safe Investor AG, H for Simsalsi Warrior, and today we have a special interview with none other than the Postmaster. What is up, Postmaster?
Yo, Safe. What is up, my man?
Let's
good to
go.
be here. Thanks for all the listeners and watchers. Hope you all are good out there.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this interview. You don't even know. I'm out of all the interview that I've done, this is probably one of the ones that I'm most excited about. Who is Postmaster? So we're gonna be covering. I'm gonna be asking some fun questions, and we're gonna be asking some goofy questions because Postmaster. I don't know. I get just incredible vibes. And I think this could be the start of the new All-Star. So Postmaster, give us, take 2-3 minutes and just tell us about yourself. You know, if just brag about yourself. Tell us,
Awesome,
you know,
man.
how'd you run, what made you come to crypto and what led up to it?
Okay. Awesome. Well, born and raised in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And I'm a lifetime martial artist. Started off in wrestling in high school, was the captain of my team. Got into Muay Thai early on and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Started my own club in Waterloo, Ontario called Fear the Fighter Training Academy. That's kind of what brought me into Bitcoin. Yeah, it brought me into Bitcoin, actually. Just kind of putting some assets into different things while I owned that gym. And it popped off around the time that I was closing down the gym. So it was like almost like my conversion from the martial arts world into Web3 as a VC investor. I got into Hedera Hashgraph and very early stages in the IEO, which was the initial exchange offering on Bittrex. I listened to Dr. Lehman Beard and Mance Harmon do their spiel, and I was like, oh, that's the future of tech right there. So I got in very early, and so just watched the whole development of the ecosystem. That's when I found Stickbug and Meme Token, and just fell in love with the meme community that was starting to build on Hedera. I had just made some real good moves on Growth. We all know Growth. So yeah, just joining a meme token was a part of my plan, and then building a sports memorabilia company is what we've come into, and yeah, that's all just from martial arts. I kind of got into martial arts, and then martial arts got me into crypto, and now martial arts and crypto are coming back together, baby. So it's kind of a full circle story coming on.
Hey, that's fun. So you got into martial arts, and what got you into crypto was martial arts. It's funny because I think the opposite. It would be crypto to martial arts, given what's coming to Hedera Karate Combat. But this is a great connection, man. Okay, so now you're here in Hedera Hashgraph. Now, tell us, how long have you been doing MMA? Because you're a fighter. You know how to break dance. I saw a cool video of you do them windmills, and then you're also, let's see, you're a retail investor, and you are, I believe, you are a collaborator with a meme token, Stickbug, and now you're basically running the marketing. You're the foot soldier of Karate Combat. So tell us about this.
Yeah, well, naturally, Karate Combat was right on my radar. I was on that early list of when the wallets were coming out and getting all the information. I've been, just getting updates on Hedera every single day, YouTube, watching Safe Investor, watching Levy, watching the Brendan the H-Bar Bull, watching all the guys that are making content on Hedera. It's what I live on, really. I wake up in the morning and it's just H-Bar news, H-Bar on the TV, H-Bar graphs on my computer screen. So just everywhere I'm looking, it's H-Bar, H-Bar, H-Bar. And really it just popped up, and I was like, man, I'm one lucky duck here. My two worlds are colliding. I started playing Up Only Gaming, realized I was pretty good at making bets on it. And in the end, we made this governing rule that all the kickbacks to the league would go to the people who played Up Only Gaming all year long. And so I got 5 rounds of 2 tickets, VIP passes, pit side, So when I went there for the first time, you know, it was like doors open for me. I went, wow, this is truly all my worlds colliding. All the people that I'm watching every day on Twitter, on X Spaces, I'm talking to, they all met in one place all around that pit. And it was like a huge crypto MMA party. So I just fell in love with it. And I said, I have to do this. I have to just exhaust every resource I have and put full board into Karate Combat. It's such a new, a new thing, a new sport almost, and I just want to get in on the ground level of it, be a part of the business. Now it is an ownerless company, right? So it's kind of a weird entity to join, and that's why I invested heavy in the token and started playing Up Only Gaming, because the token holders govern the league and get all the league kickbacks that the owners would normally get. So it's a very interesting concept to a business model, and I'm hoping to become a part of the traveling roadshow that is Karate Combat.
Bro, which leads to my next subject. Now you're on a journey. You officially made an announcement about this journey. I'm going to read this tweet because I want everyone that's watching this video to know about this journey. And please contribute in any way, shape, or form you can, because I truly believe in Postmaster. I believe in this journey that he's officially starting. He started much sooner, way sooner. He just finally found the path, but he's been on it. So we start part 1. Good morning, good night, my web friends and degens. I am on a mission to support Hedera and the Web3 community with the skills I have. Ultimately, I am a fighter literally, he's a fighter. He's an MMA fighter. He's not just like, a crypto fighter. I'm a fighter trying to become a Web3 influencer / builder. A part of my roadmap is to compete in Karate Combat promotion. So, part 2. Ultimately, I am trying to raise funds to put together a professional training camp and take on a very tough opponent while capturing valuable content to promote HBAR and Web3 products. We created a community project, Stickbug, to connect the KC Karate Combat fighters and fans. That's part 2. Now part 3. Couldn't find part 3 here. Oh, there it is. If you want to support my plan, please give any HST tokens to support my journey. The token address is in the bio above. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for the friends and degens who consider helping my roadmap. 0.0518487. Leave a memo. Now tell me about this journey.
All right. So we just got a tweet out from President Awesome down in Goatshed. He's the president of Karate Combat. He wants to start this social media bus where he's got fighters living out there. He brings on all the IFC fighters, opens the door to them, feeds them, lets them stay at the gym. Basically, everybody's sleeping on the mats out there, and they're creating content around Karate Combat. I want to jump right in there, and I want to showcase Hedera. I want to start asking these celebrities that are there, what is Hedera to you? Have you ever heard of Hedera? Start doing these contents around Web3 products and around Hedera, right in the thick of things while this sport is growing. You're going to see UFC veterans like James Vick stopping by there, all sorts of Dean Thomas, all sorts of UFC fighters. And Postman right here, he's super outgoing, super charismatic, and I love having conversations with people. So I'm really just trying to get down there, have my cameraman, who's my lovely wife, around with me, just taking great content, talking to people about Web3 stuff, crypto, and then just beating the snot out of each other, just capturing that too. Everybody loves to see that kind of stuff. So that's the idea, is to try to get the Sneeko, Sean, what's his name there? 205 Sean Strickland, the Sneeko Sean Strickland moments, and just say brought to you by Hedera after I'm all beat up by these pros, and or I'm beating them up and saying brought to you by Hedera, and that's kind of the ultimate plan. I saw a huge gap in the marketing strategy with Hedera at the last event. There was no boots on the ground, and the boots on the ground weren't really the boots on the ground that we really needed there to really take advantage of the marketing that we have in Karate Combat. 14 million viewers live. That's what we had watching Blast Karate Combat. Yeah, that's so amazing. let's take full advantage of that is what I'm saying. And boots on the ground. I want to start a full, media production, shorts, and doing Karate Combat picks, of course, because I'm pretty good at the picks. So everybody's going to want to know what the picks are. So, yeah, that's the idea, is to kind of emerge as a social media influencer and help build the Hedera community.
Man, that's very awesome, very honorable, and I see nothing but there's an opportunity and preparation being met. And in this exact step you're taking. And I'm glad you're stepping up, because a lot of people won't. It's a lot of work, and you sure do have the energy, and you sure do have the attitude to take that work. I'm so glad we got an Edge Barbarian getting in there and rolling up his sleeve and just getting the job done. Now, we usually do MMA Wednesdays, just so everyone knows. This is probably one of my funnest spaces, MMA Wednesdays, and I really don't care who shows up and who doesn't. I'm a huge fan of MMA. I grew up watching UFC since it was considered just as circus, as people refer to it. Now you have MMA background, and I remember you were sharing some crazy street fights you got in. So I wanted to ask you, what is the most eccentric? Take a quick second to think. Okay. What's the most eccentric interchange or interaction, MMA interaction, you've had in your experience when it comes to a street fight? Maybe you saw Koala in trouble and you stepped in to save it from, I don't know, some hobo, or maybe you saw some random.
One thing comes immediately to mind, dude. There was this bar scrap. I was maybe 19 or 20 years old. It was right around Halloween, and it was a different one than I talked to you about. This one happened in Cambridge, which is like a real rough town. There was barely any bars that ever survived, because everyone always got stabbed at bars there. So very few liquor licenses allowed late night drinking. But we did have this place called 5 O'Clock. It opened up for maybe a couple months. That's how long they lasted for. And we had a street brawl of probably like 200 people going on at once. It started in the bar, people just throwing everything you possibly could have at each other. There was like 8 guys that got stabbed that day. Dang. I was walking around just head kicking people, like just drunk off my tree. It was just, yeah. So this was one of the fights. I call it the 5 O'Clock fight. And it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning, and the toughest guys, like we're talking like the guys that all have like the reputation of like the baddest dudes in town, they were all at this party. So it just broke out into this fucking shit show, and it took the SWAT team to pull us all apart. It was absolutely crazy, dude. So yeah, that was probably one of the craziest ones. It's hard to pull it. I just remember head kicking a lot of people, but I was drinking that night, so it's hard to remember it all. But that one really sticks to it. But I've probably been in about 500 really good club brawls or street brawls or school fights. Or we'd always have these parties at this place we called Hill 68. And it was just this big hill behind our school and had a forest on top of it. And I remember getting bottled in the back of the head and having like 10 stitches in the back of my head once. So yeah, our town was rough, man. So there's a lot to go through there. We could talk for days about it.
That's funny. What makes me laugh a lot when you were telling me all those crazy stories, and I'm like, hold on, where are you from again? You're like, Canada. I'm like, dang, like this stuff happens in Canada, and then the way the Canadians are portrayed in movies, like, man, the most cordial and the most.
And we don't have guns, but we like to duke it out,
So it's safe.
There's little risk of getting shot, but there's a lot of stabbings, right? Like a lot of people just carry little pocket knives around with them, so you get like a little snip if you're especially like there's a whole lot of like foreign people coming in now, so it's kind of weird that you don't see as many street fights anymore. Like back in the day, it was like you just have to like step on somebody's sneaker the wrong way and it was on. You had like six guys coming up to you, and like today everybody just kind of keeps themselves because it's a little different. So but back in the day, it was just we were fighting for fun, man.
That's funny because I was in Quebec, and I'm telling you, I was just walking in Quebec. Our cruise landed in Quebec. That was a final destination. We were there, and we got down, and then some of the I became buddies with some of the crewmates in there, part of the crew, and so they invited me. They said, hey, because I'm also a dancer, and so they said, hey, you should come with us. We're gonna go to a club, and we're like, oh, okay, I've never been to a Canadian club, and dude, the streets were so quiet, so we took an Uber. It was like 2 miles into Quebec. We were there. On the way back, it was like 4 a.m. There was no Uber Lyft available, so we walked back. On their way back, there were cops asleep. And then I was just wondering, like, hey, man, how safe is Quebec? It's like, bro, the cop is asleep. That's how safe it is. And I'm like, man, so there's no rough goes on over here? Like, nope. And then I talked to a cop when I was there. I'm like, hey, so you guys, chase a lot of bad guys, or you guys, arrest people? And they're like, well, we gave a parking ticket yesterday. I'm like, dang. And then you're telling me.
They're pretty nice for crime up here. If you stay out of like, Brampton, Toronto area, like there's some street crime. If you don't lock your doors at nighttime, like in some neighborhoods, it's a little rough. But for the most part, if you're in the suburbs anywhere here, dude, there's nothing to worry about. Like you can just be out walking your fucking dog. Like you can let your 10-year-old play outside all day without watching them. Like, and I don't do that, but you probably could. Nobody ever bothers the kids, and like there's nobody crazy. I go down to Texas and I'm like, man, I was thinking about moving here, but I could move here, but my kids, man, like my kids, like my kids,
yeah,
like they're used to a little bit different lifestyle for sure than seeing like crazy strung out people in cowboy hats, fucking full of glitter and carrying machetes, like. You can't carry a machete here in Canada, that's for sure. Apparently down in Texas, everybody has a machete, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're allowed to walk out with your gun, and that's what made me laugh, because I'm like, dang. So by the sounds of Postmaster stories, it's pretty much safe for you to get in fights in Canada. the probability of you dying is low.
I got shot at once. That was a pretty crazy night, but. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty, 500 street fights and no stab wounds, and only got shot at once and they missed. So
yeah. That's tight. Well, they weren't from Texas. That's why they missed. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, dude, that's fine. Okay, this is part 1 of the interview. Guys, stay tuned for part 2. Welcome to part 2 of the amazing interview with Postmaster. He's out on a journey right now. Officially has began. Foot soldier of Karate Combat, part of the marketing team. Now, you are on a journey because you're going to have a fight. But this fight you have coming up, what does it mean to you?
Man, I'm coming out of retirement for this, and that I think speaks volumes. Karate Combat has absolutely lit the fire under my ass. Mei Chan has also paved the way for H Barbarians to have a great showing, and that's why I want to take this training camp very seriously. And I could have sandbagged this. This event. I could have fought somebody that I thought I could just absolutely destroy. It was on the table, and I took a look at the options that I had, and I said, you know what, I need a tougher fighter. So I immediately got onto Twitter and started calling out tougher guys, and found, a really, really tough boxer who's a bare knuckle boxer, knocked out his last 2 opponents in the first round, under the first minute. Tough guy, tall, lanky, rangy, just like I am. I can see your face, you're concerned, but I'm a fighter, bro.
Bro, I saw him. I was concerned.
I'm not here to sandbag. I'm not here to sandbag. I'm here to actually prove I'm a great fighter. I'm not going to fight once. I'm not going to fight twice. I'm probably going to fight 3 or 4 more times here in Karate Combat, either in the IFC or do what May's doing. You know, I'm going to beat the brakes off this first dude and get after a real fight in Karate Combat. Maybe fight one of the guys that are still under contract that lost a couple fights, or even jump in a short notice fight. That would probably be ideal as well. Just have all my medicals there, have my record, you know, 1-0 on the IFC, ready to bang for a second time, and just really use that time, the time on the mic that people are going to give me to really shine and show my charismatic side and show my true colors and my heart and what I've been building over on Hedera. Which reminds me, we should talk a little bit about you know, the sponsorship programs that I'm building for the fighters with our Fighter Bug Flawless NFTs. So we're giving the lion's share of any revenue raised from these NFTs for the Karate Combat fighters. We all know fighter pay is pretty tough, and these guys get after really hard sponsorships to help support them in their journey. So these NFTs, we plan on minting 200 for each fighter. It should give them around $6,000 US if we mint them out completely. And they work together to help market the product. We give them the marketing tools and the spaces to market the product to the right customers. And we should have a really good self-funding NFT program written right on Hedera, supporting Karate Combat and creating super fans. So a big part of our roadmap is to get these fighters into the spaces and talking about Karate Token, talking about league governance, talking about token governance, talking about HTS tokens and how to swap them. Some of these karate fighters are going to be pretty big bag holders of karate, especially if that token price launches off to the moon, baby. You better believe there's going to be some liquidity that can flow in from the Karate Combat community, and I want to be that bridge that connects Hedera with karate.
That's what I'm talking about. I say, hey, you know, couldn't have asked for a better person, because if you go to karate, you can't be the formal individual. You gotta have the type of street smarts that you have. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the street talk, because we're talking about fist fighting here. We're talking about MMA action. So bring me, I don't care if you have the foul mouth, honestly, like Sean Strickland. I want to hear that action. Yeah, you know, we have the proper talkers like St. Pierre. You know, much respect for St. Pierre. And sometimes we have people that have that complete street talk, because that's one of the things I love about MMA. You have a lot of people from different types of backgrounds that have been disciplined in different types of cultures. And you can only get to know someone by literally talking to them and interacting with them. And so what you're bringing now, you're going to be bringing, I believe, something very valuable to the entire Karate Combat and / Hedera market. So, are you ready for this journey?
Absolutely, absolutely safe. I wouldn't even have stepped foot onto Spaces on day one if I didn't want to start this roadmap. I really wanted to add some kind of value to the retail sector of Hedera, and I'm really just trying, you know, I'm really trying to add the value that I can, and joining Stickbug, sharing all my ideas with that team, and getting this NFT program swinging. Well, it's going to help so many members of the Stickbug community with liquidity, adding from that from the sales revenue to connecting the fighters with everybody in Hedera, and also the crew members of Hedera. You know, starting discussions, these like DAO discussions live on X Spaces, and it just will help grow the league so much faster. Right now, we're going towards like the league governance site, but you know, things kind of are slow there. But if we really, you know, start scheduling daily spaces or bi-weekly spaces dedicated just to Karate Combat, and have all of the top token holders, have all of the fighters and the athletes, and have all the crew members in those spaces, are my ultimate goal. So while I'm going through this journey, I'm trying to connect all the dots for that to happen together as well. You know, I've got a lot of fighting experience, so, you know, I just got to polish that up, train a little bit, polish that up. But I really want to focus on making the right connections in this business and getting all the right people together to help just slingshot into, you know, 1 million people playing Up Only Gaming and 40 million people, 60 million people watching these events.
You know, something that I wish Karate Combat will never change. I mean, we can't control, right? Changes. Something that I wish they maintain is sponsorships, because they're allowing fighters, you know, to get sponsored and to be sponsored. Because in my opinion, that's how the UFC screwed over their fighters back in 2015, and that made me pretty upset, because a lot of the fighters made their main, you know, bread off of sponsors. You know, that's many thousands of dollars a fight, and I'm glad Karate Combat allows it, and I just wish I don't see anything changing, and I really hope that it stays that way, because fighters deserve, in my opinion, just like you mentioned, great pay. And if it comes from sponsors, even if Karate Combat decides, you know what, they're getting too much and they want 10%, 5%, that's fine. Let the fighters keep most of it or all of it. But just never halt it. If I may recommend, if you're listening to this, CEO of Karate Combat, please let the fighters get their bonuses off of those sponsors, because I think, and people will have fun, you know, getting to know different businesses, even if it's a restaurant that they're sponsoring, you know, or even if it is, you know, some online business, and you know, you get entrepreneurs that are trying to get ahead of the game and trying to push. So I think there's no other way of, you know, business type, and the way Stickbook is pushing it forward, I think it's a very clever way for you know, a tokenized version of getting commission, in my opinion. And so the fighter's good, gets more popular. So I think it's a great model. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Model. So
yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So
it's definitely a lot of work connecting all the right people, getting all of the fighters, teaching them how to open wallets. You know, so it's just it is a lot of work on that back end. But I think once I get the flow of things, we're developing every day like that. I mentioned this is what I need. I snap my fingers, and the team just literally magically appears in front of me the next day. It's pretty awesome team to be on. The quality of NFTs that we're pushing out, I've never seen anything personally this nice before, so it's something that I can be proud of. I think the H Barbarians are also going to be proud of them. We're going to create collectors, and because Hedera is a 100-year, 300-year blockchain, or DAG, we should say, it feels like a real sports memorabilia company. It's going to be around a long time. These cards could end up being like, you know, the triple logo man card, or could be some really valuable NFTs passed around on our network. And that's what the hope is, that it's a successful project that helps fighter pay and creates tons of transactions on our network and adds lots of value and liquidity for the NFT marketplace.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, it's time to wrap things up. You know, I've learned a lot of things, and for anyone that's listening or tuning in right now, you need to rewatch the entire. You have to watch the entire interview, because I'm giving it about a year from now. Look at Postmaster's Twitter interview. Excuse me, I had some technical difficulties. It paused recording, but yes, looking at Postmaster's Twitter page right now, it's at 1.1 million, 1.1 followers. 1 year from now,
1.1K, yeah.
I can see it being at 10K, 15K, bro. And I've seen you're working it. You're working it. You're doing the right things. You're being in spaces. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do, and you don't stop. That's exactly how you grow it.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Keep spreading the gospel. the good old Karate Combo gospel. But yeah, any last words, tips, that you want to share with us before we start wrapping things up?
Yeah, man. I'm just, regular guy like everybody else, just trying to make my dreams come true. It seems like, all these doors have been opening for me. So if I have supporters out there, thank you guys so much. I appreciate everybody. If you guys want quality content on Hedera, just please like and follow all my social media. And thank you so much, Saif, for having me here today. It's absolutely a blessing. We'll give the last glory to God, of course, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and let's fucking go, Hedera, and we'll see you at IFC4, baby. Let's go.
Hey, I want to go to your fight. You let me know when you okay. Is the fight a done deal? And if so, what date and who?
All right, so we're like 80-90% got this thing on lock. All right, and basically they're just cinching up IFC 3 right now. George is a little panicky, so he's strictly worried about the IFC 3 right now. IFC 4, we are on the list of fighters that could possibly be on IFC 4. If not, I've been promised IFC 5. So September or December, you'll see Postman in the Karate Combat Pit, filling out those dreams, baby.
Same opponent?
Hack the Snack, Michael Hecker, yeah.
All right, I'm excited for you. I'm excited. I just saw that guy. That's why you better get in there like the Double Dragon guys.
Once you start seeing my trading videos, man, you're gonna think that Hecker is gonna be in for a bad time. So
well, you got the height. You're 6'3", so I better see some head kicks. Don't let the kid get close to you. Just head kick the jaw off of him.
That's a plan. I got good outside control, good lateral movement. I got really good jab. So good luck getting in on my jab, and I'll beat his legs until he can't move properly, and then I'll just like a lion on a gazelle, just go in for that kill, push him against that pit wall. He's gonna have a real hard time when he can't move around off that pit wall, and I'm gonna probably do something crazy. I'm looking for a highlight reel, something that people can be like, wow, this guy got some air, and I guess to end the interview, man, you guys are in for a show when you see Postman. I'm telling you, I got some flying kicks coming, flying knees, flying Superman punches. It's going down. It's only 2-minute rounds. I'm gonna let it all out there.
Well, from all the fight stories you shared on MMA Wednesdays, I'm looking forward to this fight. I want to see some some helicopter kicks, street fighting style. And you ever play that game Double Dragon with Billy and Jimmy, the Nintendo one?
What my favorite was? It was Tekken, and I always played the breakdancing fighter Eddie Goro.
Yeah. The capoeira dance. Yeah.
Capoeira guy. Yeah, that was my favorite.
That's tight, bro. Well,
big Mortal Kombat buff too. So.
Me too. I grew up on those, man. I knew almost just about all the projectiles. I still got my Nintendo there. Hey, man. Thank you for taking the time to come and interview. I like investing in the future. So the minute, I saw, just to share this with everyone, I am going to start a new channel. I'm not going to change the name of this channel. I will be starting a new channel. And my passion has always been traveling. I never expected this investing channel to grow as it did. And so I just didn't really want to leave it to die. I've been looking for months, kind of like who to pass a baton to or shill, or because people do look for my videos and I don't want to let them down. And I can't rely or trust no one else other than Postmaster. So this guy is going to do a job well done. And in my opinion, he has great analysis if you ask him about crypto. And I will continue to do more of general analysis about the market. But I'm going to be doing a shift in my investment videos from now on. It won't just be crypto. That being said, I'm going to be starting a traveling channel. Look out for my announcement. We need to support Postmaster here because this guy is on a journey that he just began, and we need him to be up on top on his following. So if you're watching this, follow him on Twitter. Tell your friends, tell your grannies, tell your neighbors, and to give him a follow. And I'm going to be linking this video to a giveaway on my Twitter page, so you best be paying attention. That's it. Thank you so much, Postmaster. This is Safe Investor AG.
Safe.
H-Bar Sim Saucy Warrior. Everybody, stay saucy.